Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Season Ticket Holders. I'm your host, Dane Lillingston, and I have a brand new and very special guest with us today. He's a long-time UFC fan, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world to watch the fights with. He's a former local AFL star, one-time BJJ specialist, the self-proclaimed kick-on king, Daniel Reid. Daniel, how are you, mate?
G'day, mate. What do they say? Long time listener, first time caller. Here I am, finally on the pod, mate. Thanks for having me.
Love to hear it, mate. Very happy to have you on, Dan. We used to watch the fights all the time up in Cairns. UFC Sundays at the Jack, the best place in the world to watch the UFC. If you haven't checked it out, please sponsor us as well, mate. Plenty of fight news going on. It's been a massive period. No real big cards lately, but plenty of fight nights. Another Jon Jones controversy, a Netflix card that's almost the biggest we've ever seen. I don't know where to start, but I do want to start just with yourself, mate. Before we get into it, new guests, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what got you into the great sport that is the UFC.
Yeah, well, thanks again for having me on, mate. It's been a long time coming, so I appreciate it. Well, I don't really know. What did get me into the UFC? I just kind of stumbled across it one day. Obviously, the McGregor era was massive. Used to watch it with my mates, and then, started watching fight nights and then just fully hooked. There's just nothing like it. No other sport I've ever watched is anything like it. Obviously, I'm a big AFL man, so that's my second love and passion. But yeah, UFC has taken up many a weekend over the last few years, as you well know. But and obviously from Tassie, moved up to Cairns about 10 years ago. Never really been much for the Queensland sports, sorry to say, mate. NRL.
Terrible.
It's only good for a multi in my book, but it's growing on me. It's taken 10 years, but it's really growing on me. But footy, UFC, that's where it's at for me.
I mean, it's a good thing you have the UFC because you are a Richmond fan, and how's that going?
Yeah, unfortunately, Richmond till I die. Unfortunately, look, we're entering the lean years after lots of success. Thankfully for me, I didn't have to live through too much drought. Seeing 3 premierships before 30 is pretty special. So it's all about the kids, isn't that what they say when your team sucks? It's all about watching the kids. So that's what I'm excited about.
You can
But
tell yourself.
it's a tough watch.
Whatever you need to tell yourself, mate, you go ahead. And Dusty's going to be in Cairns. What an appearance. That's a very special thing for you guys up there. Your boy.
Mate, can't wait. Got the babysitter on the go. Got the hotel in Port Douglas. Got the tickets already. I'm fanging. I'm ready to go.
Oh, fuck yeah, mate. Well, let's get into the fights, mate. I touched on it, but Jon Jones in trouble again. Video circulating of him online, a bit of a road rage incident, which he has been prone to in the past. Basically, if you haven't seen it, gets out of his car, goes up to this guy, starts recording to him. May or may not have a gun in his hoodie, Dan. Looks a bit seedy.
Yeah.
What did you think of it? I mean, just to give you a wrap, the driver says Jones almost hit him 3 times and then flipped him off, and then Jones followed him. Jones says he was being bullied and expressed his concerns for the senior citizens of Albuquerque. What's going on here?
Mate, I didn't know what to make of it when I saw it. I mean, you've obviously seen it. There wasn't really a lot to it, I didn't think. The gun theory is an interesting one. I could see where they're coming from. Couldn't really see it myself. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it was a pretty tame one. He definitely seemed like he was on something. I don't know. He was on one, I reckon. But yeah, jog on. Not much to see here. But as I said to you earlier, I think there's 2 sports people that probably shouldn't be driving anymore, and that's Jon Jones and Tiger Woods. Just get drivers, guys. You don't need to be driving. But yeah, I'm not sure, mate. What did you think? He's your boy, Jon Jones.
It's the GOAT. Mate, it's my biggest gripe with any sports people. You see it with the Broncos and what happened with Ezra Mam only recently for footy fans out there. I have no fucking clue why professional sports people, actors, whoever you are, mate, if you had a bit of money in the bank like these guys too, Just don't get behind the wheel, mate. Get a driver. I would employ you, mate, to live next door. Anyone, and you give them a call, you get in the ride. I just have no idea why they keep doing it. I mean, Tiger flipped his car on the side. Jon Jones is just a PR absolute nightmare. So I have no idea what he's doing, mate. What, like you said, on the grand scheme of things, not a big deal, really. He's just an idiot, and we all sort of know it at this point. He's the GOAT inside the octagon. He's down the bottom of the list for athletes outside the octagon. And I think Dana
Yeah.
White would probably just be sitting there thinking, "This is why we didn't put you on the White House," right? Like, he's probably
And
sitting there, yeah.
and I think you've definitely got the tone from Dana. Obviously, he's Jon Jones' number one fan, but you can tell he's just starting to get sick of it. And I don't know how he's only starting to get sick of it now, but you can really feel the tone is just shifted with them too. It's just, yeah, he's not into it, whatever's going on there at the moment.
Too many chances, mate, and he should be on the White House card. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. Like, I think that would have been I don't know how the fight itself would have been, but it just would have been a massive blockbuster type fight and something the White House card is probably missing a little bit. And I just think it would have been amazing, but he's just an idiot and he gets himself in too much trouble. He'll always be my GOAT, Dan, in the octagon, like I said, but it's getting harder and harder as a Kanye West fan, too. Jesus, there's too many just stacking up here.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the White House card fight to make. It had to be. It was either that or it had to be Topuria and it had to be Makhachev. And unfortunately, we're not getting neither of those fights. Yeah, they were the two fights to make, and we didn't get them.
Mate, you segued beautifully. I can't believe it's your first time here, mate. But I was getting straight into Islam because I had that teed up next. There's obviously been heaps of back and forth because the only other fight that probably would have matched it as far as scale, like you said, would have been Topuria and Makhachev. Like, that would have been the one, a super fight, a showdown for the ages. Now, it's been back and forth in the media. Did Topuria pull out of the fight? What's going on? Islam put out a tweet just today saying, "I'm tired of hearing made up stories from Topuria and his team. I got the call, accepted the fight at the White House. The next day I was told he asked for an unrealistic purse. The UFC declined and he pulled out. There's nothing more to it. Even his manager confirmed it." Mate, I don't know about you. I inclined to believe that side of the story. I think is Topuria probably was chasing a big purse, as all UFC fighters are well in their right to do. But geez, it's a shame we're not getting that fight right. But whose side are you on in this one?
Yeah, well, it's probably no surprise I'm not the hugest Topuria fan. Look, I love the way he fights, and I love that he's got that lethal power, and he's got the great equalizer, and he's got the great ground game that we never get to see, or only glimpses of because we never need to see it. But yeah, he definitely strikes me as the type of guy that is out for himself. He's not a company man like our great man Volk. He's looking out for number one. Um, and yeah, I mean, I can't see why Makhachev would not want that fight. I can't see it coming from their end at all. I just can't.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, it's a shame. Like, 2 big fights they could have been, and that all led to just, a lot of people thinking I haven't got your thoughts too much on it, but the Netflix card. I mean, that's where this sort of went, right? These 2 sort of, in a way, almost competing with each other in terms of prestige and that type of thing. What have you just made of how that's all unfolded? I mean, obviously, you can say what you want about Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano and being past it, but it has something I think the White House doesn't have, and it's a bit of star power. These might not just be the amazing fights and the top 10 guys for title belts and that type of thing, but it's got names you're like, holy shit, I want to see, right? What do you think of the Netflix card?
I think I'll definitely be watching it. That's what I think. Nate Diaz, obviously, always a fun fighter to watch. I mean, Ronda, I mean, let's face it, when she came back to the UFC, they put her up against Amanda Nunes. I mean, she obviously propelled the sport to astronomical levels, especially, of course, for women, but the sport overall. But Nunez is just different. Have you ever seen Rousey box?
Yeah, we all have. And when we know that's not a strong point, unless it's that armbar, geez, it's a tough watch.
Well, what do they always say it's the best armbar that there is, and she showed it time and time again. But there's more to it than that. And I love Ronda, so I'm pumped to watch it. I just think it'll be something different, something exciting. It's also great, the Netflix productions are always really, really crisp and clean. They've definitely taken a leaf out of the UFC's book there. And if you're a Netflix subscriber, like most of us are, you just flick it on. It couldn't be easier.
Yeah, that's a big plus, especially in Australia when we still obviously got another year at least of paying pay-per-views and that type of thing. Obviously, like Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, we've got Nate Diaz, Mike Perry, Francis Ngannou, and Junior Dos Santos also on the card. So it will be pretty cool. And like
Mm,
you said, if you've got Netflix, you can tune in. I mean, I'm not expecting a high quality of fight, right? But who knows? There could be some bangers on this card, a bit of entertainment. And if Netflix get that, they'll be more than happy with their return on the dollar, I'm sure.
oh,
Uh, and
definitely.
yeah, I don't know what time it is. I didn't actually check what time it'll be for us, but, it'll still be good, right? I'm keen for it.
Should still be Sunday Arvo, surely. I don't. What date is it?
Did
Is there like, are they competing? Because surely they wouldn't want to compete with any sort of UFC scheduling.
I don't think they're competing. Saturday, May 16, so that's American time, what I've looked at, so that will be Sunday, May 17 for us, and the UFC White House, what date is
Love a
that?
Sunday card, mate.
Well, is it White House card? I keep forgetting to confirm this for sure, but is it not gonna be a Monday our time? I think that's what I've seen because I think it's gonna be a Sunday in America, but I
Well,
thought
can
that
we work it out now? Because I need a day off.
well, I'm pretty sure from what I've seen, and I've gone through this before, but when I look at it, at least on Google, it's Monday, June 15th. So I'm pretty sure it's a Sunday in America. I mean, I get Mondays off already, so I'm stoked if that is the case. I'll have no one to watch it with. Unfortunately, that's a public holiday I don't know about,
I
but that
mean,
is
yeah. Hot take. I just think it'll be. I think it'll be a very. I mean, obviously, it's a once in a lifetime, very, very strange event. But I mean, the UFC always pull these things off. I mean, the Sphere was obviously incredible, but I feel a bit worried for the production value of it all. But I'm sure they've got something up their sleeve which will make it really exciting.
It's gonna be so weird on the lawn. Like, I'm sure they'll pull it together. And the UFC, I've said it many times on the podcast, the best live sport production you'll ever see. No matter where they are in
Mm,
the world, they must spend millions and millions of dollars in traveling all of their gear. We think the WWE is good. It's on that scale for live sport, just the lighting, the music, the actual production, the in-house production,
mm.
whether you're in these indoor arenas. I know they've shifted away from a lot of outdoor arenas in recent years, and I wish they would still do a few, but you can see why when it's the quality of product that they put out in these arenas. So I can confirm, just looking it up, UFC Freedom 250, UFC White House is scheduled for Sunday, June 14. So that will be American time, mate. So we are looking at UFC Monday for the first time ever, I'd imagined. Are you keen?
Oh, yeah. Well, something has to be done about that. It's a landmark event. UFC Monday.
Um,
We've done we've done Bellator Sunday, UFC Saturday. We've done it all, but never a
uh,
UFC Monday. Exciting.
Scraping Bellator Sundays. Jesus, those were the scraping the bottom of the barrels.
When you got no fight night, no numbered card, and there's only Bellator on free to air, of course you watch it.
Oh, we did it, mate. We did it. Hey, Ryan Bader, shout out. Absolute legend over there. Mate, obviously, we did have some fights over the weekend. Headline Renato Moicano, a dominant submission over Chris Duncan. Had plenty to say after the fight. I thought it was quite
Mm.
interesting. But obviously, dominant performance by him. I don't know how far he can go. We obviously saw him in a title fight not that long ago and could not do much to our boy Islam. So I don't know what he's got from there. But the highlight for me of the card was Alex Pereira's knee knockout on the prelims. Incredible, mate. I did have to check. No
Oof.
relation to Alex Pereira, but what did you think of that one?
Well, if I'm being honest, it was the only fight of the whole card that I've actually watched. I have kept up to date with Moicano's post-fight comments, which I found pretty interesting to say the least, especially when you're thinking of your own career. But yeah, that knockout was crazy. It was actually a crazy fight. It was a crazy pace. I think you could tell that she was hunting the finish, and she was hunting the knee. Like she threw a lot of knees that whole fight, and you know, obviously a lot of them didn't really threaten too much, but the intent to knee was there, and boy, she got it. We've had some great female finishers recently. Obviously, Alexa Grasso not so long ago was one of the craziest finishes that I've seen, not just in women's MMA, but just all of MMA. It was I've never seen anything like it. Um,
Dirty, dirty.
dirty. I mean, the transition time to that back mount is just crazy. But back to Pereira, yeah, great finish. Was it her first UFC fight? I think it was a debut, right?
Think it well, maybe second, but it was very early on in the career either way. But what a statement. Ed Grasso, like you just mentioned, holy shit. I remember you sending it to me on the day. I've never seen a transition into that so far. She literally choked her into a different dimension. Like she may as well have been limbo. I don't know where she went. Her mind, her heart, her soul left her body. And if you haven't seen it, highly recommend. Not to mention her hands. I mean, we don't get to see that too much. Great hands to put her in that
Mm.
position, and the just the quickness of mind, the fight IQ, sense, and speed just to latch onto her neck. Jesus Christ.
That that is when you know that you are just on. Like the combo, and then just to have the presence of mind and just the skill to just lock into that rear naked immediately as she's falling. I mean, she is literally in the process of falling to her knees, and she's already on it. Yeah, crazy. One of my favorite finishes. Hopefully, it's finished the year. I know it's early in the year, but yeah, it's got to be up there. It's crazy. But yeah, back to Moicano. I don't know, man. I just don't know why you'd say that. That's just like condemning yourself to the bullshit cards. I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't really like Moicano, to be fair.
We obviously saw him fight for the lightweight championship. That was only, what, 3 fights ago against Islam, submitted in the first round, then lost a decision to Dariush. Obviously puts in a face crank second round win, but yeah, not the right way to go about it, mate. And I don't know where his career in that division can really go anyway. So maybe he knew that and said, fuck it, who knows? Let's get into the main card, mate, because we've spent plenty of time, plenty of fight news since our last podcast. UFC 327, Procházka versus Ulberg. Mate, former stripper turned potential UFC champion. Also a Kiwi. So shout out for the Anzacs in this one, because that's who I'm going to be going. But obviously riding a 9-fight win streak, 13-1, coming off that crazy knockout first round in Perth,
Mm,
performance of the night against Reyes, earned his
mm.
position. Now, Yuri, we all know Yuri basically from getting completely put also into another dimension twice by Alex Pereira. Or at least that's how I remember him most, especially that dirty head kick in their second fight. Has bounced back, obviously, with 2 finishes against the 2 next contenders in Khalil Roundtree and Jamal. 2 people who Pereira also obviously put away, but now he's moved up to heavyweight. This does open the door for this division again. Obviously, that Roundtree fight, I was watching Countdown today, and you do forget he was getting smashed for those first 2 rounds, but he said at least he
Yeah.
knew it was coming, that he could fight back and get that finish in the third. Performance of the night, fight of the night, 3 minutes and 4 seconds into the third round. We'll start with him,
Mm.
man, Yuri, because he's probably been the most visible of these guys. I remember him most from those Pereira fights, but you have to remember he's got this samurai mentality, but he's really exciting to watch, and his style is not the most technically clean, but he gets the
It's fun
job
to
done.
watch.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, he's a super entertaining fighter. I go back and forth whether I like watching him. I like him. I think he's a great personality for the sport. Very different, but very cool. But there's no doubting he has some brutality inside him that when he lands and connects, oof, look out. But he has developed a little bit of a habit of starting slow, getting touched up for a while, and then I don't know if that's what he needs to be motivated, or similar to, I think Charles Oliveira used to be a little bit like that. He used to like to get, whether it's by choice or not, he used to get knocked around for the first little while, and obviously then he'd get classically suck people into coming to the ground, and then that was that. But yeah, Yuri, I think, can't afford to do that against Ulberg. Ulberg's very measured. I just wonder if, with Ulberg, if he will get frustrated by Yuri's movement. Is whatever the fuck he does. I don't know what he does, but it's crazy.
It can be very annoying to fight, mate. And Ulberg obviously has a kickboxing background, I just brought it up
Mm,
before. Again, watching his highlights on Countdown, man, he's obviously got those lethal leg kicks, mixes up his striking really nicely. He's had his fair share of knockouts in the UFC now. He's on Dana White's Contender Series. That was back 2020. Got knocked out by Kennedy Nachokokwo, but that was back in March 2021. But since February 2022, mate, he's put together a tear. He's had 5 knockout wins since then. Also got a rear naked choke. Took care of Jan Blachowicz, the best ping pong player in his neighborhood. The fight before this, Volkan Ozdemir, also. So
mm.
3 in a row there in the last, what's that, year and a half. To get to where he is today, well deserved. Good looking rooster.
What's his streak? He's on a actually, shout out Joey, my wife, of course.
Shout out to
She
Joe,
wanted
friend of
me
the
to
show.
she friend of the show. She wanted me to let everyone know personally that she's going for Ulberg because he's a sexy thing. So, um, there's that. He's got that on his side.
Mate, one of the best looking fighters I've ever seen. His background is he used to travel to pay the bills and perform at ladies' nights and shows. He quit the industry after realizing his potential in MMA and kickboxing. Lucky us. He earned the nickname Ladies' Night, and I think now is it Black Panther now? But either
I have
way,
no idea.
yeah, shout out to Tom Hayfield. He's a bit ill at the moment. Hope you're feeling better, Tommy. But he's a big Ulberg fan. But yeah, so he's made it to where he is now. Lucky him, right, for changing professions. He could have still been out there
Yeah.
shaking his thing at hens parties all around the world.
He is just a really good, disciplined fighter, and he's good to watch. And he's got the power sitting there, of course, which I think, and you and I have talked about this for years, is light heavyweight is such a weird division because they don't have that power of heavyweight, but they've almost got the durability of a heavyweight. So it is a bit of a weird division for finishers, and he's got the power. I think it should be a fun fight. It should be a really fun fight. Unfortunately, my favorite fight of the card is no longer on the card. But it should be a really fun fight.
We will get to that. I just want to quickly go through Ulberg's record. Kickboxing, 21 fights, 19 wins, 2 losses, 12 by knockout. So his MMA record now is just 13-1. I mentioned first lockout early in his UFC career. Did get knocked out,
Mm,
but he's had 13 wins, 8 knockouts, 1 submission, and 4 decisions.
yeah.
And Yuri's obviously, like you mentioned, has been knocked out by Pereira, but he's been able to match it with most of the people in division. If your name isn't Alex Pereira, then he hasn't lost to anyone else since 2015. So
Wow.
that just goes to show that's the last time against Muhammad Lowell in Ryzen in Japan. So that just
Mm,
over a decade, the only people he's lost to is twice to Alex Pereira. So that just goes to show the level that he is at. And we probably forget because you do have those images of him being brutally knocked out twice. I just can't shake that image of the beginning of that second round against Pereira where he just gets head kicked onto Mars. It
yeah.
was incredible to watch, and one of the reasons why I love Pereira so much now. But take that away, and he's a killer. And this is going to be a good
Oh,
fight.
yeah.
I've just talked myself into maybe going back to Yuri, but I'm going to stick with the Anzacs, mate. I just want to get your tip. Who are you going for this one? By method, what? You think Ulberg can secure the knockout? You think Yuri's weird striking will put him off? What's your tip for the fight?
I think the smart tip or bet would be Ulberg decision. I'm not gonna talk in tips, I'm gonna talk in bets. I would be betting on Ulberg decision, I think, is probably where I can see it going. I just think he's really patient. Yeah, really measured with his striking. He can go if he wants to go, but I don't think he will. I think he'll pick him apart. I think it'll be very much like the Jan Blachowicz fight. Obviously, Yuri, a very different opponent, but I think it'll be similar to that. And a smoky on a 1, 2, or 3 knockout for Yuri.
Okay, I'm gonna say you're a very brave man, because when Carlos does get the job done, it's normally in the first round. 6 finishes in the first round,
Mm,
so it will be interesting, mate. I'll go Ulberg knockout. I'm gonna put it on the line. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna eat my words because I'm gonna
yeah.
lose money. But
Dude, I just always go back to that fight Yuri Procházka had with the ex-Brazilian champion. What's his name? He coaches Pereira now. He's in his corner.
Teixeira,
Um, Teixeira.
Glover Teixeira,
He
back
got
in June 2022.
he absolutely got smashed. And he is just so gutsy, man. I don't know, knockout just seems really interesting. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It'd be an interesting fight to watch.
I think it's a good headliner, and we did touch on it just before, but it would have been made much better if we did have the co-main event with Joshua Van defending his flyweight title against Tatsuro Taira. That would have been, I think, a really nice way to really make a solid pay-per-view card. Unfortunately, that did get scrapped. I did
Mm,
my research just before. They said minor injury. This fight's, of course, been shifted to UFC 328, so it can't be a serious injury. But obviously gutting when I think with that fight on the card, you were looking at a pretty well-rounded, nice pay-per-view. Without it, it's looking a little bit thin now. Will be interesting, mate, because I think Van could consider himself, even though he's got plenty of talent, a bit lucky to be the champion considering the way Pantoja got injured in that fight. 26 seconds, the way he landed very awkwardly, TKO injury loss. Brutal way to lose the
mm,
belt when Pantoja was putting together a run, or all-time great in the division.
mm.
I'm not convinced that Van would have won that fight. And Tyra was coming off 2 finishes, back-to-back, nice finishes, and I was really keen for that one, mate. You said you're pretty gutted?
Yeah, man. Joshua Van just keeps breaking my heart. You know, his last fight, as you mentioned, with the injury. I mean, that was just such a premature finish to that fight. That was for me the most exciting fight of that card. I can't even really remember what was on around it, but I just know I was gutted for that fight, not to go ahead, or at least not to, give us what we deserved as fans. But the next numbered card has gained a great fight, and now that's a crazy epic card. But yeah, this one, has a little bit of a hole. But I mean, top to bottom, I mean, there's a couple of really good hidden gems for the non-casual in the prelims and the early prelims. Like, there's some great names up and down the card. So, like you said, it's a well-rounded card, but it just could have been a little bit better with the fight that got cancelled.
That means the new co-main event is Azamat Murzakanov against Paulo Costa. Well, I think we all know Costa by now from his history. Weird record recently, mate. He has lost 3 of his last 5, 4 of his last 6, if you want to look at it like that. He's coming off a win back in July, been out of the octagon for a while now against Roman Kopilov, decision win. Before that, he lost a
Mm.
split decision to Sean Strickland and to our boy, Robert Whittaker. That was back in February 2024. So I'm very much off the Costa train. I actually don't think I ever was. Ever since he said he used to love drinking wine before his fights, always came across as a dickhead. Um, but
I think he's he is the only fighter or fight that I've actually fallen asleep during the fight. Um,
you and me both.
at the pub, if you would recall, I did fall asleep during a Paulo Costa Israel Adesanya fight. So he can lay stake to that as he's the only fighter that's ever put me to sleep.
And I will vouch for you, mate, because we both fell asleep. I do remember vividly waking up during the knockout after a long weekend with the shenanigans up there in Cairns, mate. But I do remember waking up and being also, we weren't expecting Adesanya to give us that either. But you are right.
No,
He put me to sleep. Flip that to Azamat. He is a 16-0 fight streak,
undefeated.
mate. Coming
Mhm.
into this, I never bet against an O, Dan. You know that very well from my betting history.
Mhm.
I will not be betting against him in this one. He is coming off 3 knockout finishes back to back in the first round. I'm not going to say they're the biggest names, but they are finishers. Alexander Rakic back in October 2025. He only needed a minute to get that one done. And Brenson Ribeiro back in June 25. TKO submission to punches, a bitch move. First round 325 as well. So, mate, scary. I'm not going to say I know a ton about this guy, but just based on his record, what he's been able to do, I'm going to back him to get the finish again, mate. What do you think?
I don't know a thing about him, but I love an undefeated fighter. I love an undefeated knockout specialist, and I don't know, Costa's just. I've just never been able to really put my finger on where he's at. Like, I don't know. So yeah, I think the guy who I cannot name will win. I sound like a real fan, don't I? I don't
As
even know
a
who's fighting.
as a
I just
Matt.
I just can't see Costa winning.
Yeah. No, let's just move on from Costa because, yeah, he's only 34. I just had a look, but it feels like he's been around forever and would happily be time to go. Going down the card, mate, we have the heavyweight boys in Curtis Blaze and Josh Hockett. I think we all know what Blade's been able to do. Coming off a
Mm,
split decision, that was back in June against Rizvan Kunyaev. Before that, he had been knocked out by Tom Aspinall for the interim UFC heavyweight championship. Moving along to Hockett, he's 8-0, but you're gonna love this, mate. My pet hate, 8-0, 8 fighters without a Wikipedia page. What the hell?
Unbelievable. Not good enough. I still actually can't believe you do your research on Wikipedia, mate. Like, get on Tapology or Sherdog, mate. Come on.
I
Get
do
up with us.
no, I do that for
ChatGPT at least.
more in-depth research. Hey, mate, they're taking my job. I'm not using them just yet. Only for graphic images. Very helpful. But, mate, 8-0 and no Wikipedia pages, that's just absolutely disgusting and foul. But obviously his most high-profile fight, back-to-back first-round finishes, TKO. Geez, we're going to go all finishes, mate. He has never been to a decision. So obviously a scary prospect, big step up, 8 wins, 5 knockouts, and 3 submissions. The American, he is 28 years old. Curtis Blades will have his handful, mate, because from memory, that last fight was not a good one. He's 35 and I'll be trying to get back to the top of the mountain, but I'm going to back my new boy, Josh Hockett, by knockout. What do you reckon?
I'll follow you straight in with that. I don't know. Blades is every time you think Blades is cooked though, he just comes back and just knocks a bloke out in 20 seconds. So yeah, I don't know. The heavyweight division is bores me to death, to be honest, especially with everything that's going on there with obviously the Jones muck around, the Aspinall blindness, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, the division bores me to death. There's not a lot going on. I mean, you only have to watch Love the Boy to Death, our boy Tai Tuivasa, but come on, what is that division doing?
It's
When
the
they're
only
just looking at each other like, do we have to do this?
div-
It's weird.
It's the only division in the UFC, MMA that you could lose like 6 fights in a row, but then still be just being handed new fights time and time again. As much as we do love Bam Bam, shout out. But yeah, it is a crazy division that has not been exciting for a long time. And the false dawn that was Tom Aspinall, very much a shame. I mean, you could call Jon Jones also a false dawn with the way he made
Mhm.
cameos in the division and then just disappeared again and looks to have disappeared for good. Mate, let's just round out this card. Light heavyweight, Dominic Reyes against Johnny Walker. Reyes, by all
This should
money,
be a
look,
fun fight, man.
it should be, man. And it looked like when he was on that 4-fight losing streak a little while ago, you'd think his career was pretty much over. And that was after pushing Jon Jones in a fight that some people thought he won back in 2020. He stringed back 3 finishes in a row and then got knocked out by Ulberg. So it could very much be him in the main event if he had won that one. Fortunately, sliding doors moment didn't go his way. Johnny Walker, we all know as well, exciting fighter, can get the finish,
Mhm.
and is coming off a TKO back in August of 2025. Before that, he had lost back-to-back fighters, one to Ankalaev, nothing to be lost in that. But yeah, fun fight, man. Could go either way. Who do you got?
Yeah, and just on Reyes, like, he didn't just go on a losing skid, he got knocked out 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like, that is you push Jon Jones to the end, and then you just that fall off needs to be studied. But, yeah, I loved his finish. Actually, it was we watched it together in Cairns. That was the, Volk Lopez 1 fight, card. It was a really great knockout, and I just can't get that vision of Johnny Walker turning into a board and hitting the fence out of my head.
That's
Also, when he said, "I'm in the desert," and his fight got called off. I can't bet on a guy like that. So it's got to be Reyes for me. He looks really good at the moment, and obviously Oldberg's contending for a title, so they're a bit of a gap there.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I'll take Reyes knockout. And then obviously a fight that has been elevated to the main card as well. Cub Swanson against Nate Landwehr. Cub Swanson, mate, has been going around for a while. This is a fight maybe probably shouldn't have been on the main card. He's 42, still going around. Good on him. Uh, he's coming he's coming off a knockout of a Billy Quarantillo back in. He's also hasn't fought since December 2024. Before that, he lost a split decision to Andre Phil. A little bit concerning that it's going to be on the main card. This screams to me early prelims, if anything. And then against Nate, who's 37, so good on him, giving him a nice little layup there. Lost 3 of his last 4. He's been knocked out twice in a row. So just looking at these numbers, Dan, I'm a bit worried for this fight. Maybe it turns into a banger, but doesn't scream main card of a pay-per-view.
You know what this screams? This screams dirty dogfight that would normally be at the bottom of a fight night, but is actually your favorite fight of the day. That's what that's what this fight screams. I'm going to put my knackers on the line and say this fight will be sick. It probably won't be. I'm going for Cub Swanson just because he's old and he looks like a legend.
Glass half full. I like it. Yeah, I'll back Swanson by a boring decision just because he has been around for a long time and he looks like Oberyn from Game of Thrones. If you look deeper into this card, you've actually got some pretty good names. Patricio Pitbull against Aaron Pico. Gamrot's on the preliminary card. Kevin Holland, Tatiana Suarez, and then interestingly, stuck in the early prelims, in the middle of the early prelims, not even main eventing the early prelims. Gastelum, fall from grace, like we said before, coming off a decision against Dustin Stoltzfus back in September 25. That's after missing weight. They had to catch weight that one at 191 pounds. 34-year-old really should know better, and it looks like Uncle Dana has punished him for this one, mate. Just tell me, what do you think of that decision and then just the prelims as a whole?
Yeah, the previews actually seem really, really decent. I mean, there's only what, 3? I think there's only a few on there. I feel like that Pitbull and Pico fight should have been the opener of the main card. I feel like they needed to give them both a chance to say, right, we signed you guys over for a reason. Show us you're against one another. Show us why you're here. And they should have just given them the ultimatum. They should have said, right, whoever wins, you stay. Whoever doesn't, you go, because Pitbull's been nothing but disappointing. And I'm happy to get a second look at Pico because I thought he looked really energetic and really electric at the start of that Lerone Murphy fight. And he got knocked the fuck out with a spinning back elbow, a brutal one at that. So I really was excited for a bit more of a look at him. So that's a cool fight. I mean, Kevin Holland is Kevin Holland. You never know what you're going to get. Sometimes he fights incredible, hunts a finish, and sometimes he just dicks around the whole time. So, and he doesn't care where he fights. So throw him in the middle of the prelims. It's all good. And yeah, I mean, Kelvin, he's just paying his time, isn't he? He better win because, oh dear, you don't miss weight. It's one way to piss the boss off.
100%, mate. And I mean, he has plenty of haters already without chucking that on top. But the cardinal sin for a fighter, missing weight. And early prelims is what you get, Dan. Mate, interesting card. I'm looking forward to watching it. I do have my time off. I will be able to catch the main card. We'll be watching it somewhere in the inner west of Sydney. I don't know just yet. It won't be at the Sporting Globe, my local favourite. It just hasn't got enough star power for me to make the trip into the city and pay $80 for a beer tower. It just doesn't, mate. But I will be watching it in the west of Sydney at a nice pub. Where will you be watching the fights,
Nice.
mate?
It's might be a home job, mate. Although I know you've talked about this on your podcast before, and I'm not sure if we've even talked about it too much, but I just can't get down with the Paramount Plus broadcast, man. I just give me back my ESPN, give me back my Carrier Sport. I don't like the product. It's annoying. What am I going to do? I'm going to stay home and watch it on Paramount Plus and talk about how annoyed I am. But this will be a feet up on the desk with a beer and take it easy, I reckon.
I think my pet peeve at the moment with everything, I mean, there's plenty of issues, but my biggest one is there are a lot of times when for fight nights, I just can't watch them live. And I do like to go and watch them on Monday morning and just chuck the card on, even if it's on the background for a large chunk of it. But the way they're being uploaded to the platform, as you know, is that they're being put up as individual fights, which can be good if you really just want to watch the main, but then it's just like cut straight to the fight. There's no real build up to it at all. It's just like a highlights type of thing, even though you're watching the whole fight. I don't know why they can't just do a system where you've got the whole card and put like points, that you can shift to if that's the fight you want to watch, but not giving you the
Yeah.
option at all, which as far as I'm aware, there is no option where you can just watch the card, right?
There isn't. I've tried, and not only that, you could go onto KO if you like caught the card halfway through. You could even while it was still going, you could start it from the start and sort of trail it in. Pretty much as soon as it was over, you could replay it, the whole thing. You pick parts out of it. It's just I went to watch some replays from the other week, and I looked on Tuesday, and there was only half of them were there. They still hadn't uploaded them all. And I'm just
Right.
thinking, what are we doing here, guys? All this money. Like, I kind of like that you can just pick a fight out because, I mean, whatever, you just pick out the fights that you want.
Yeah.
But get it up quicker and at least give a full broadcast option. It's a lot of work to do, I think. Time will tell. Not much we can do about it.
No, no, and it's the future. I mean, soon, obviously, all the UFC we watch in Australia is going to be based on the Paramount model, which will be good, and people forking out pay-per-views like yourself who want to watch it at home. But it will be interesting whether they can match the production values and the way they're uploading at the moment. You want to at least think that you can watch a whole event after the fact and not just be able to skip through fights. It's just a real whack system. Let us know what you think in the comments on the episode because, yeah, we'll see, mate. Get that engagement up. Dan, you've
Tell
taken
me, am I wrong? If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
Burn Daniel in the comments, guys. Get him. Get the kick on king. Bring him down once and for all. How is the crown going, Daniel? You haven't even talked about it, mate. I gave you a chance before. I thought you'd touch it, but the crown's still heavy on the head.
I lost it. I can't find it. It's
You've
gone.
lost
It's
it.
in the house somewhere.
It's time.
It's definitely not in Sydney.
No, it's well, no, not anymore.
But yeah, I'm just giving the head and the neck a rest. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, as you know. So,
Yeah.
well, maybe you don't, but I'll tell you, it
No,
is.
I do.
So
I do know. I do know. I wore it for a long time. I had to carry you.
yeah, mate, absolutely. So yeah, no, I wear the dad crown now.
Do you? Yeah, no, it's lovely to see what you've done. I've actually started watching The Crown. Great
Great
show.
show, great show. Young, don't.
It's a great
It
no.
is a great show.
We have binged the first season recently. This is way off topic now. We've binged the first season recently. I can't wait. I mean, obviously know the story. I can't wait to see where it goes. I watched the Fog episode recently in season 1. Fascinating. Did not know that. Crazy stuff.
Fascinating.
And
I lost interest after the young Elizabeth seasons. Once she gets older,
okay,
no.
spoilers.
First, spoiler alert: the Queen gets older.
I hope she doesn't
yeah,
die. Yeah, no, great show. Anyway, not related at all. I still want to watch, just totally off boil on TV, the Anderson Silva show. I don't know how you can watch it, but it was on Amazon and it's in Portuguese, Brazilian actors. The guy who plays Anderson Silva looks just like him. Came out a couple of years
yeah,
ago. I don't know where you can find it. I've had a look around. You mustn't be able to just change my VPN or something, but it looked cool. I want to watch that. Anyway.
yeah. No, I saw some pictures, and he looks a lot like him. And I find it hard to believe in this day and age you're not using a VPN, mate. You need to look after your security.
Well, I do now based on the laws that have changed, but we don't have enough time for that, Daniel. So thank you very much for coming on the podcast. It's been a long time coming. Like you said, we
Thanks
used
for
to watch
having me, mate.
UFC religiously every Sunday up there in Cairns at the Jack. Some of the best times ever, core memories, and pleasure to finally
Mhm.
have you on season ticket holders.
Thanks for having me, mate. I look forward to being back to talk shit again sometime soon.
Let's do it, mate. Let's do it, baby. White House, UFC Monday. Bring it on. We can't wait.
Freedom!
Bring it on. Thank you very much, Dan. And thank you, all of us. I'd just like to thank our sponsor, National Freight Management. They can handle everything you need, guys. If you just want to hop on to www.nationalfreightmanagement.com.au, you can check out that information on our website as well. And as always, please show your love and support by giving us a follow and like on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, YouTube as well. Like and subscribe. We've spoken plenty. Thank you very much, guys. As always, take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.